Welcome to Comment with me, George Galloway, here on Press TV, still the voice of the voiceless. Comment is the big conversation, the great debate, but it can only be either if you join in. That's why, above all, I need your telephone calls. The number is 44208-601-4555. You call us, we'll call you back, establish a clear line, and remember, if you get on the television with me, the volume on your television has to be at 0. You can also SMS me on 447800008066, or you can email me at comment@presstv.co.uk. You can even tweet me at comment_presstv. I'm raring to go. I hope you are, because my blood is racing. It's red hot, because I've been watching, because I watch alternative news channels rather than the so-called lamestream media. I've been watching mass murder most foul, a barbarous, unchecked, and even largely uncriticized. No calls for restraint. Where is the Middle East peace envoy? Is he calling for a ceasefire, or is his silence, like the silence of most of the political class, Ed Miliband, for example, has he gone on holiday? I haven't heard a single word from him. That silence from the political class is, of course, complicity with the mass murder that the rest of us with access to information have been watching for the last 2 weeks. More than 90 Palestinians have been massacred, 90, and more than 20 of those have been small children. Every one of them a militant, every one of them a terrorist. There's no silence, though, in the media. The media is very clear. Israel is under attack. No one's been killed on the Israeli side. No one's even been injured. No one's actually been scratched on the Israeli side. But hey, their dinner has been regularly disturbed by sirens, and the streets are empty, because some of them have gone to bomb shelters. Would that the Palestinian people in Gaza had bomb shelters, or anywhere to hide, anywhere to run, because of course they don't. The nearly 2 million Palestinians inside the Gaza Strip are locked up for the duration. Every door, every gate locked against them. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, in a very, very small piece of territory containing the most densely populated population anywhere on the earth. The Israeli apologists sometimes say, why are the terrorists hiding amongst the people? Well, of course, there is no place for anybody to go in Gaza. Everyone is piled on top of each other. The Israeli apologists claim that Israel is targeting weapons. But of course, when a warship off the coast barks its shells at the territory that they patrol, they're not targeting anyone. They're just firing hot, molten steel. And that hot, razor-sharp, molten steel and the sheets of breaking glass are tearing the Palestinian people to pieces, decimating them. More than 80 have been killed, but about 500 have been wounded. Mortuaries are closing. Hospitals are unable to cope. Ambulance drivers are being deliberately targeted. It's the old story. Someone sent me today a speech I gave in 2009, which mirrors almost word for word what I've just said to you now. Nobody did anything about it then. Nobody's doing anything about it now. In fact, it's worse than that. The only two forces ready to stand up, who've already stood up to the mass murderers of what they call Israel, are two people that some people want Muslims to hate. Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, in a masterful speech this week, the leader of Hezbollah, which delivered, of course, in 2006, Israel's only ever defeat on the battlefield by any army, was standing shoulder to shoulder, four square with the Palestinian people. Indeed, the Hezbollah has already been of great military assistance to the resistance inside Gaza. And the other, of course, is Iran. Now, there is a class of sectarian idiot in the Muslim world who wants us to hate Iran, wants us to hate Syed Hassan Nasrallah, wants us to hate Hezbollah. That has morphed into a situation because everybody knows that the only weapons that the Palestinian resistance has inside Gaza came from those that we are being asked to hate. So that morphs into hating the Palestinians themselves, ignoring them, except where you're actually blaming them. That's happening right now in Egypt, for example, where the mass media of the military junta of General Sisi is actually blaming the Palestinians for the murderous assault that has been unleashed against them. The killing of young people has captured imagination around the whole world by the public, by the police. The settlers who just last week captured, tortured, poured gasoline down the throat of a Palestinian teenager in Jerusalem before setting him on fire are sitting on deck chairs watching the bombardment of Gaza. They are actually watching as a kind of spectator sport what's being done in the settler state of Israel. Not only did that young man just get burned alive, these bullies there beat his cousin, an American citizen, to a pulp. I don't know about you. I've come to expect mass murder from a state which was founded on mass murder. Mass murder of anybody, of the British, mass murder of United Nations officials, mass murder of villages like Deir Yassin, mass murder of the Palestinians, mass murder of the refugees in Sabra and Shatila, mass murder in Jenin. I expect that from them. They are mass murderers. What I'm more interested in is three things. First of all, where are the Arab leaders? Where are the Muslim leaders? Where is the Ummah that they teach us about in school, as a young Palestinian girl said to me after Cast Lead in 2009, 2010? Where is the Ummah that they teach us about in school? Why did they leave us to face this alone? Why did they leave us to face this alone? Secondly, I'm interested in where are the British and other political leaders. David Cameron says that he staunchly supports Israel in this action. Ed Miliband has gone missing. Where are all these champions of human rights? Human rights in Syria, for example. Human rights in Iraq before the invasion. Where are they? And the third question I'm interested in is what to do about the despicable, repulsive, culpable mass media that misserves the public of Western countries, one of which, the so-called British Broadcasting Corporation, we're forced to pay for on pain of imprisonment if we don't. And the second question that we are dealing with this evening is a question we've had to deal with these last few weeks. We're asking, what has been your country's reaction to ISIL's atrocities? Another 35 executed men uncovered by Iraqi security forces just this week. ISIL are Al-Qaeda, or at least they were Al-Qaeda, until Al-Qaeda kicked them out as being just too brutal, just too cruel, just too fanatical, just too sectarian. And if you're too sectarian for Al-Qaeda, what does that make you? And yet, not a single thing has been done by any Western government to check the advance of ISIL in Iraq. It is now an inescapable, ineluctable conclusion that the Western governments are in league with ISIL. If they were not, they'd already be bombing them, wouldn't they?